Okay, so we're going to pick up right where we left off on the previous slide. We had just added font size 5 and viewed what that looks like. So now if I click here, I'm now going to add in a color. So what's cool about tags is we can add multiple attributes to tags. We've seen that with the image tag up here. I can add a source and a width and a height and an alternate text. The same applies to font. So I can, in addition to upping the size, I can change the color to be FF3118, which remember is a hexadecimal code for a color. So I'm altering the color of that text as well as changing the size. And if I save and run, I see that I've now changed it to a red color. So it not only is bigger, it's also red. So you can change multiple attributes in one. And the next thing we can do is we can also change what's called the face or the type. So in addition to changing the size and to changing the color, I'm also going to change the face, and I'm going to set it equal to a font called Comic Sans MS. So you can use any font you would like as long as you type it out correctly. HTML can recognize quite a few of them. So if we save and we now run, we can now see that it also changes font. So now it's in Comic Sans MS, and you could use most of those fonts that you encounter in Microsoft Word. So try them out, experiment a little bit. You'll see that you can change things all over the place. Now I'm going to continue editing, and I'm going to go down to where it says professional landscape. So I'm going to focus on this chunk here. And what I'm going to use here is something called a relative font change. So notice that this isn't just 2. This specifically says +2. And what this is going to do is this is going to take professional landscape and whatever the default size is on this particular web browser, it's going to increase it by 2 sizes. So instead this time of just doing font equals 2, I'm going to do size equals +2, which is communicating that I want a relative change. So I want it compared to the fonts around it or compared to the text around it, I want it to be 2 sizes bigger. So if I save and I run, what I see is that professional landscape compared to the rest of the text is now 2 sizes bigger. So it stands out a little bit more. So this is what you should see. You saw that on my Notepad++ as well. And then when you view it in the browser, you should have your picture loaded in. It should actually work and show you a picture. Whereas here, I clearly didn't have the picture loaded in, so my alternate text is showing up as instead. So there we go. There we have our picture all loaded in. So what I'd like you to do at this point, before moving on to the next video, is I would like you to add in the code that produces these 2 unordered lists. So you're going to add that in. We talked about that in the last unit, so I'm not actually going to walk you through that. But before moving on to the next video, you should have the code added in that will produce the following web page.